Hello, my name is Esmeralda, and for the Lost Cause project, I will be doing the statue of Williams Carter Wickham. Wickham was born on September 21st, 1820, in Richmond, Virginia. There, he helped out his parents with their plantation farm on Hickory Hill, where he then grew up to go to University of Virginia and be admitted to the Virginian bar in 1842. However, he still continued to spend most of his time helping his father on the plantation farm they had, and together they helped make the plantation become one of the top 10 largest plantations in Virginia, where at its peak they had about 275 workers. So, at the beginning of the war, Wickham served actually as a Unionist up until Abraham Lincoln's call for volunteers, where then he became colonel of the 4th Virginian Cavalry and then a brigadier general in the Confederate Army. So he did end up switching to the Confederate side. What really helped General Wickham stand out from the other generals was that during one of his battles, the Battle of Third Winchester on September 19th, he and his men decided to retreat from that battle, which gave them the availability to help out General Early. General Early and his men were dying out at the Battle of Milford, and therefore General Wickham decided to step in and help. An author, Joseph S. Wickham, stated that by preventing the entire annihilation of Early's army and possibly thwarting Sheridan's return to Grant's forces around Petersburg, William's determined stand at Milford is credited with single-handedly prolonging the life of the Confederacy. So basically, General Wickham, by helping out General Early, he helped really give the Confederates a more of a fighting stance against the Union, and it was that war that really helped him really stand out with the other Confederate generals. Relating the statue to the Lost Cause, the Lost Cause was like an ideology of those who believed that the Confederates were the heroes of the war. In an article by Caroline Janey, she states that the Lost Cause was developed by white Southerners, many of them former Confederate generals, in a post-war climate of economic, racial, and social uncertainty. The Lost Cause created and romanticized the Old South and the Confederate war efforts, often distorting history in the process. So basically, those of the Confederate side really believed that they were the ones who won the war and were in the right of the war as well. So the Lost Cause really moved around history and rewrote it to which it was in favor of their side. So General Williams Carter, he basically knew that the Confederates weren't going to win, and this idea of that the Confederates were winning was really not his idea. He was more of a, after the war, he decided to resign from the Confederates October 5th of 1864, and when he left, he decided to take a seat in Congress, where then he pledged that he would try, then that he wanted to end the war and actually reunite the Confederates and the Union as one. He stated that at once and assiduously work to bring about the termination of the blood strife being waged. So he just didn't want there to be any more war. So definitely during his time, General Williams Carter Wickham was considered a Confederate hero. His statue, which stands in Monroe Park, Virginia, stands at 17 feet tall and was built by Edward Virginius Valentine, and it was put on display October 29th, 1891, and his plaque reads that he was a soldier, statesman, patriot, and a friend. However, now that statue no longer stands there, most recently because due to the Black, Lo- Black Lives Black Lives Matter protests and the George Floyd protests, seeing as what he stood for was for the Confederates. He had a plantation farm, he was a slave owner. People didn't really agree with his views anymore, and his statue was torn down and is no longer at its original place.